Hi, Stephanie Mackara here with Money Minded Mondays with Mackara. I'm the author of Money Minded Families, How to Raise Financially Well Children, and I am the owner of Charleston Investment Advisors, a financial planning and investment management firm in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. And so we're wrapping up this week talking about investing. We've talked about a bunch of different concepts, and one of the things, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about mindful investing, right? So the technical aspects of investing are one thing, but the behavioral or the emotional component of investing is quite another. So yes, we have market corrections. Yes, we have market corrections that potentially will correct 40%. And on paper, you could lose 40% of what you've invested in. That's very aggressive investing, but that could happen. But that loss is only realized if you sell and panic and go to cash, right? So we talk about in investing, control what you can control. So what can't you control? You can't control inflation, can't control what the Fed's gonna do. You cannot control markets, even though we'd like to think that we can. And you can't control returns. So earlier we talked about the risk, how risk and return are related. So you commit to taking how much risk, you can control how much risk you take, right? That's one thing you can control. How much risk am I willing to take? When I open that statement, am I willing to accept this negative downturn? How negative of a return can I stomach and still continue to invest? So you can control your risk. You can control your costs, right? This is important. There are a lot of hidden fees and costs in certain investment products, many of which, unless you're in the industry, it's really hard to decipher. And I hate that about this business, which is why if you're working with an investment advisor, make sure they're a registered investment advisor, which is a fiduciary advisor who has your best interests at heart, professionally and personally. And so there are hidden costs, and make sure you know what the costs are. Ask the questions. If you don't know, read and ask questions, educate yourself on costs, because costs will eat into the returns of your portfolio and your growth. Asset allocation, you can control the asset allocation. You're designing, you're the designer, right? You work with someone or you design it yourself. So you can control how much you have in bonds, how much you have in US equities, international equities. And then finally, you can control your own behavior. At least we like to think that we can. And so when you have that moment where you're freaking out and you are concerned, maybe there's a lot of groups on Facebook these days, financial freedom, those FIRE groups I mentioned earlier, financial independence, retire early. Do some things to sort of take your mind off of that initial reaction of, oh my gosh, the market's dropping, I've got to pull out. Because again, it's time in the market that's going to grow your wealth. Benefit from compounding interest, make your money make money. It's not going to make money if it's sitting in cash under your bed, okay? I hope you learned some things and you took some things from this. I just recommend you continue to educate yourself and really understand and know how you're invested and why you're invested that way. I'll see you next week.